Well, that was a really, really exciting week of the Champions Cup. We've got some teams who have now qualified. That is round 3 done. And some huge results, may I just say. Yeah, let's get right into the action. I've got the Glasgow flag up because they are the Scottish team in the Champions Cup. Neither Scottish team did that well. They both lost. Both, I would argue, shouldn't have lost for different reasons. But I'm not here to cover about that. I'm not here to moan. I'm here to just cover the rugby. Because, yeah. Let's go. So, starting us off, we had Northampton at home to Bayonne. Northampton had won their first 2 games. I think they're top of the Premiership as well at the minute, aren't they? So, Northampton are actually looking really good. They might not be anymore, but they were for a while. Northampton are looking really good. They needed a win over Bayonne to qualify through. I will have a video up later on in the week for who needs what to qualify, and I will go over if they've already qualified. Northampton have. And they face Bayonne in Northampton. I did predict Northampton to win, and they absolutely thumped it. I'll put the score on the screen with the scorers, but Northampton won 61 points to 14. An absolute hammering. There were several of these absolute hammerings to come. It was some big scores. But no. Huge game for Northampton. That's them settled through. Next up, we go to France as Lyon hosted Connacht. Connacht, a team that had been struggling this season a little bit. You know, they're sitting 9th in the URC. They've not won a game in Europe. They have still not. I did predict Lyon to win, and Lyon did win. 34 points to 20. So, yeah, I think, I'm not too sure in the polls, but I think that might be Connacht's chances of going through very much just about down. As I said, I'll do a separate video later on, but it's not looking good for them, shall we say. Next up, we've got Sandy Park as Exeter Chiefs hosted Glasgow. And what was a very, very good game. I think Glasgow were unlucky with some bounces. But yeah, and then obviously that decision at the end, there was late drama. Glasgow were leading for most of the game. Exeter scored a try to put them 19-17 ahead with about 2 minutes to go. Then Glasgow actually scored, but the ref chalked it off for reasons that is being widely debated. Personally, on first look, I actually thought the try was fine. I'm going to be honest, I've seen lots of people debating this. I've seen lots of good arguments for both sides. Personally, I think the extra 8 had not unbound first, which meant that the Glasgow flanker was... The ball was out, so the flanker had all his right to do that and score. But I can see the other argument as well. It wasn't given. Exeter won 19 points to 17. Close game though. Yeah. Next up, Bristol versus Bulls. Usually now, the Bulls do not great in Europe, away from home, is what I meant there. They usually do solid, well, they did solid last year in the tournament, doing alright so far. But they managed to pick up a win. I said Bristol to win, but the Bulls got a fairly comfortable win, winning 31 points to 17 at Ashton Gate in Bristol. So a really, really good win for the Bulls there. Again, I'm not quite sure on table implications. I will do a video later on. We then go Toulon versus Munster. Toulon, obviously the Challenge Cup winners from last year. Everyone had things on them doing well, but they're really not. Munster, however, have a lot of injuries, and I predicted Toulon to win this because Munster's squad just isn't there. But Munster managed to pull a solid performance, winning 29-18. In France is a tough place to go, and Munster have pulled off a pretty solid result there. 29-18. That's a good score for Munster. So yeah, a much needed win for them. I think Munster are sitting quite comfortable-ish, actually, for going through with one more game to go. Next up, Leinster, Stade Francais. They played it at the Aviva. This was only going one way, and it did only go that one way. Leinster absolutely thumped them, 43 points to 7. Yeah. Leinster are being Leinster in the pool stages, aren't they? Leinster in the knockouts of recent have been a slight different thing. But Leinster in pool stages, group stages, whatever, are always very, very strong. That's them comfortably through to the knockouts now. No issues for Leinster whatsoever. They will be trying to chase after 2 defeats in the final 2 years in a row. Next up, we go to South Africa as the Stormers hosted Sale Sharks. And the Stormers, again, getting a solid win. 31 points to 24. I did say Stormers to win. They did. Stormers had a poor start to the season, but they are starting to find form now. I did say, watch Stormers. They will come back. And I think people will slate the South African teams for poor start, but all bar the Sharks, the South African Sharks, I've actually had really good starts. I think Bulls are sitting quite good in the URC and solid in Europe. Stormers are now just about climbed up to a respectable position in the URC and are doing solid in Europe. Lions are doing solid in Europe, although they're in the challenge, and are sitting, I think if they win their game in hand, they're into the top 8 of the URC. It's just the Sharks who have been poor in the league, but have been alright in Europe. So yeah, South African teams I want to watch, I think. They are pretty solid so far. We've then got Cardiff, who, as I said, they got into the league through a Giffey rule. I don't think they should be here, and again, they're proving it. I thought if there was a game for Cardiff to do something, at home to Harlequins could be a chance. I did side with Harlequins, however, and me siding with Harlequins was correct. Harlequins actually gave Cardiff a bit of a drubbing again, with 54 points to 15. I have seen lots of people saying that this is reason to bring in the Welsh and English leagues together. What I would question is why. I know they're saying the crowd, but the crowd was there for the European fixture. The URC is a much better league than the Premiership. I don't see why they should move, personally. But it's up to them. There's a lot more money in the Premiership, so I wouldn't blame them. Ulster hosted Toulouse. A game that I think Ulster wanted to try and pull something off. They pulled up a solid win against Racing and lost to Bath in the first 2 rounds. Toulouse are looking credible. They really are. As I said, the European royalty, Toulouse. Yeah. I mean, Ulster put up a fight. 24 points to 48 was the final score to the Frenchmen. Yeah. Not much else to say there. Moving on to actually what was a really solid game between Bath and Racing 92. Bath have now qualified with their win, but their win was a solid comeback. Racing was sitting like 25-7 up or something like that, with about half an hour, 25 minutes to go, and Bath managed to pull it back and win 29 points to 25. So a good solid win for Bath. Racing, I think that's them just about out now. I did actually predict them to drop to the challenge, because they're just not doing that good this season, Racing. I don't know if it's just players leaving, like Finn Russell going to Bath, but they've just not been there this season, Racing, at all. I'm not sure, because they're not doing well in the top 14 either, are they? Not Pro 14, that's the old URC. La Rochelle are back. I did say this, at home to Leicester, La Rochelle, I said I couldn't see them losing that game because I refused to believe that La Rochelle were going to go out without a bang. They lost their first 2 games to Leinster and Stormers. They were hosting Leicester Tigers. They beat Leicester Tigers 45 points to 12. There is the La Rochelle that we've been waiting for. And this actually sets up La Rochelle a really good game. La Rochelle Sale Sharks, which is practically the winner of that game, gets the final qualification spot for the knockouts. So that'll be a really good game. In Manchester as well. Pretty sure it's from Manchester. It's a huge game for them. It really is. But it's good to see La Rochelle back. Leicester, though, as I said, there's been some massive scorelines, but geez. And then the last game of the round, the last score of the round, the last drubbing of the round. Saracens went to Bordeaux. Bordeaux had been looking very, very good before this game. Saracens have looked quite shaky, and Bordeaux really, really laid into them. Saracens, from the current English champions to, I mean, they're still doing all right, to be fair to them. I think they've lost 2-1 once. They're actually in danger. Give me a second, I'm going to sneeze. I think it's gone. But yeah, Bordeaux absolutely destroyed Saracens, 55 points to 15. I mean, I said Bordeaux to win, but I did not expect this. What a win for Bordeaux. It really is. As I said, some massive scorelines. You know, I look down. There's, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. If you want to class the Ulster-Toulouse game as a drubbing, 4, if not. 5, 6. 5, maybe 6 absolute drubbins in this round. It was, yeah, high scorings all around. Some really good games. Some really one-sided games. But yeah, that's us. So a solid round. I'll have a quick double in the pools for you, and then we'll head off. As I said, I've not done the maths or anything for who needs what to qualify, but I can run it off. Pool 1, Bordeaux are top, they've qualified. Lyon are second, they've qualified. Bulls third, Bristol fourth, Saracens fifth, Connacht sixth. So Connacht could actually still do it, but it's not looking good. They are facing Bristol, I believe. So actually, you know, if Connacht beat Bristol, but yeah, it's quite tight in Pool 1. You've got 3 teams basically there wanting to push for it. Pool 2, Toulouse and Bath have qualified, Quins have qualified, and then you've got Ulster, Racing and Cardiff all fighting off the last spot. So Toulouse 1, Bath 2, Quins 3, Ulster 4, Racing 5, Cardiff 6. And then Pool 3, Northampton top, they've qualified. Exeter second, they've qualified. Munster third, Glasgow 4th, Bayonne 5, Toulon 6. Then 4, Leinster top, they've qualified. Stormers 2nd, Leicester 3rd, La Rochelle 4th, Sale 5th, and Stade Francais 6th. That is the round 3 of the champions. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, all that good stuff. The challenge will be out later today, and then we've got the Six Nations squad's been announced. I know Scotland's coming tomorrow, Ireland I believe is coming on Wednesday, and I'm not sure about any of the other ones, but yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you legends later.